Elisa, every day after, what inspired you, moved you to create this documentary?
I have been documenting global health stories for 20 years, and I'm very interested in who gets healthcare access and who does not get access. What are the circumstances around that? And so kind of looked at that, like how do people get healthcare access when they have been denied resources? So that's why I was drawn to this story.
And why the Philippines?
I didn't choose the Philippines chose me. So that's where we thought there would be a good story to tell around a family that was in search of healthcare and in search of healthcare that would correct the cleft palate and lip of Jary, the little boy in the film.
Right, so now you had started a little bit in introducing our viewers or telling our viewers what the documentary is about. How would you introduce it? Like, what is Every Day After?
Every Day After is a film, it's a love story between a sister and her brother, and how the sister puts many things on the line in order to get her brother the care that he needs. And so to get the care that he needs so that he'll be accepted by society and so that he will know the love that most children have.
How did you end up meeting Jary and Jessa, and how did you end up choosing their story as the topic for this documentary?
So when we had originally planned to go to the Philippines, we wanted to tell a story about the healthcare professionals there, and there are many there who travel 2.5 hours on 3 different forms of public transportation to get to the hospital to care for the patients there. But after we got there, we realized that the healthcare professionals are so humble and full of humility, and they were happy to have us in the hospital, but they didn't want us to tell their stories in a bigger way. And in the meantime, we had met Jessa and Jary, and we thought, well, they are actually the story here. So that's how we came upon the other story. But in documentary, Janelle, you have to be ready.
Right, right. You know, I hear that, so you shoot and you don't know, because in the middle of the shoot, sometimes the story evolves, or sometimes you start out one way and then the story comes out, right?
Absolutely. And this film is it's verite, it's observational, and you know, we observed a beautiful love story between 2 siblings.
I'm sure that it makes it all worthwhile as well that the documentary has been gaining a lot of recognition, amazing reviews. Was that something that you expected?
It's never anything I expect, but it's something that you always hope for, because with that comes an audience and comes more awareness around cleft and how we as a society view people with facial differences. And when I mean facial differences, I mean scarring, cleft. A lot of times cleft is used as a lazy trope in films to signify that someone's evil or wicked. In the best case scenario, it's a lazy trope. In the worst case scenario, it's unjust and it's harmful. So, so I'm happy about the recognition, so we can talk about these things.
Right. Recognition, and also the reception that you're getting. You're having the screening in Los Angeles, and a lot of people are scheduled to come. Some Filipino celebrities are walking on the carpet as well. What are your thoughts?
As I'm a documentary filmmaker, so I'm not used to this. Oftentimes, you know, for documentary, it doesn't happen very often, so I'm really excited about the support that the film's receiving, and hopefully we'll get the message out. You know, people aren't the faces that they wear. They are the people they are inside. I'd like people to realize that one person's actions makes a difference, and especially when those actions are based in love. And so that's important to me, that people see that, and also that people, when they watch films or any depiction of someone with a facial difference, that they recognize it for what it is and want to change those kinds of cynical narratives that don't really work.
Pilit kong inaano sa kanya na wala talagang kulang. Sabi ko sa kanya,
Dave, how did you stumble upon Every Day After?
So I am a major donor and chairman of the Philanthropic Advisory Council of Smile Train, which is the largest charity dedicated to helping cleft-affected people all over the world. It literally saves lives because we go around the world and we repair people with clefts. And I learned about this project early on, and I raised my hand and I decided that I wanted to help in any way to amplify the message of the film.
I love that you were open from the very beginning. Was there any particular thing that struck you about this project?
I am a cleft-affected person myself. So I was born with 4 clefts. I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and a bilateral cleft lip and palate. So 2 on the outside, 2 inside. So everything that Smile Train does is deeply personal to me. And one of the things that I wanted to do was really get involved in a project that would tell the story of what cleft-affected people have to go through. In many ways, the main character, the boy in our film, Jary, reminded me of myself. And let me tell you why. He also has a cleft lip and palate, just like myself. He's in the Philippines. My mother was born in the Philippines. My mother is from Iloilo, and my grandmother is from Masbate. And so in an alternate universe, I could be Jary. I could be that boy living in Masbate in his conditions, without access to health care. But I was very lucky. I had an opportunity to get treatment in Asia and also in the US. But my own journey has still not ended. I actually had my 12th craniofacial surgery this past summer, and I have a few more to go. And that's really the life of someone with a cleft. It doesn't necessarily end with a single surgery. In many ways, it can be a lifelong treatment, which is in my case. So when I heard about the project, I felt that in many ways, his story and my story together could really tell the story of cleft-affected people.
So what jumped at you dun sa kwento ni Jary at ni Jessa? Bakit sila?
Normally, with Smile Train, we see a lot of patients or cleft-affected individuals. They come to Smile Train partner hospitals as babies.
Okay.
And we try to provide them with safe, quality, and timely surgeries, which means we try to give them the surgery for their cleft lip between 3 months to 6 months old, and for their cleft palate between 12 to 18 months old.
Why is it important na kailangan timely?
Because it affects a lot of things. So feeding, breathing, speaking. If you have surgery at a later age, that's when you become ngongo. Cleft palate is a hole in the roof of your mouth. So if you put your tongue up in the roof, it's butas.
Butas,
So if you eat, you drink, lalabas yung tubig, yung kanin,
right.
your ears and your nose, right? Jary was 13 and never had surgery before. So can you imagine going to school, socializing,
All
playing
that
with
time,
friends,
yes.
with an open lip, with an open palate?
Okay.
So the
okay.
trauma, the bullying,
right.
so it was a very tragic story. But the great thing is that Smile Train is there, and we're here to help them. Everything is free. The surgery is free, the checkups are free, the treatment to psychosocial support, these are all free.
Well, I would say that Smile Train is the world's largest cleft-focused organization. It's been around for 25 years, and we care for kids who are affected by cleft in more than 70 countries and have served more than 1.5 million children during this time.
How important is the work of Smile Train?
It's important not only changing the lives of children who are born with cleft, but also the families who are affected by cleft as well.
And why are donors supporting Smile Train?
I think many donors support Smile Train because they know that with their gift, they can actually almost immediately change the life of a child in such a visible way.
Everybody's different,
Right.
And so our goal is really to raise awareness that people are different and that's okay, right? And so we should just be more accepting, more kind, and more, to see the good in everybody else.
In a world of perfection, if you are imperfect, it is a very, very tough life. And so I want to make sure that young people see this film and they realize that these are human beings. These are not objects to gawk at or to make fun of. They have long-term repercussions on people's psyches and the way they feel about themselves. To me, this is about changing the narrative and really making a difference. Yes, all the trappings of a successful career are great, but if you can point to some fundamental change that you've been part of, I think that's what I'm most proud of.
There's no reason for you to live your life with an open lip or an open palate because help is available.